Yo, what is up guys, your boy IzuKage here with the finale of What If Naruto Was Goku Black's Reincarnation. This series, it went hard, not gonna lie, and the finale is gonna be even better, so stick around for that. And with that said, let's get right into the what if. So, in the last part, Kiba narrowly avoided death by the hands of Naruto, and before the third phase of the Chunin exams, Naruto visited the Sand Village, and during their whole panic of losing their Kage, Naruto created a clone that looked exactly like him and put him to rule over the sand. And back to the Leaf Village, Jiraiya, paid a visit to his old master. Him and Hiruzen, or who he thinks is Hiruzen, talked for a bit, but Jiraiya was more interested in seeing the progress of his grandson. So Hiruzen told Jiraiya where Naruto stayed, and he went to check up on his grandson. And when he did, Naruto was training, and with a single blast, Naruto destroyed a mountain, and Jiraiya was obviously shocked. So the stalking went on for weeks until Naruto found him. They had a little fight, but Jiraiya lost badly. So, skip to the last stage of the Chunin exams. Naruto defeats Neji with ki pressure, and Gaara still goes on his rampage, but Naruto easily subdues the tail beast. So that's where we're gonna start. And we're starting with the Akatsuki in their base. It's a dark cave being lit by some candles, and they heard word of this promising leaf Genin said to be stronger than even the Hokage. So, Pain tells Zetsu to check it out, and Zetsu melts into the ground, I guess, and comes out at the Leaf Village, near the Hokage head, so he can check the whole village. And while he's looking over it, he sees Naruto defeating the One Tails, and he isn't even trying, and this shocks Zetsu to say the least. He's scared, but apart from Naruto, he felt something familiar here. Something similar to his mother's chakra. So he looks around for a bit, but doesn't really get any, doesn't really see anyone of interest. So he goes back to Pain, also that chakra being Miyuki. So he tells Pain that the reports were true, but he wasn't using chakra. It was something more powerful, something more destructive. And Pain doesn't think much of this, and thinking it's like a Kekkei Genkai of sorts. So he proceeds with his plan to capture the tail beast. But he comes up with a strategy because he saw how easily he heard Naruto take down a tail beast. So he dispatches all the Akatsuki in teams of 2 to locate and capture the Jinchuriki all at the same time. Deidara and Sasori, the One Tails, Hidan and Kakuzu to take down the 2 and 3 Tails. And the 3 Tails recently reformed because Yagura died in part 3, so yeah. Itachi and Kisame sent to take down the 4 Tails, while Tobi, 6, and Master Pain and his mistress Konan to take down the 9 Tails. And if you didn't know, in the original canon, the 5 and 7 Tails were captured before Shippuden, so yeah. Back to the village. So this is the start of Shippuden. After the attack with the sand, after the Chunin exams, the village recovered. There wasn't really much damage to it. So Naruto during these 3 years have been training almost non-stop because, though he has most of the abilities of Goku Black, using them puts Naruto's body under a lot of strain. So during his training, Naruto has unlocked almost every one of Goku Black's abilities and many of his techniques and, techniques. That's going to be useful later on in the part. So just know that this finale is going to be broken, seeing that he has so much abilities to his disposal. So with all this talk of Goku Black, some people actually got stronger as well, like Miyuki. She put in a lot of work, and she's gotten stronger as well, and so has every one of the Konoha 12. They progressed like canon, nothing really changing. But this time Sasuke is in the village being trained by Kakashi, so his progress I would actually think would be better training with a Sharingan user. Plus Orochimaru didn't really teach him anything that Kakashi couldn't. So Also, Naruto has sent out 2 more clones to the other villages that he didn't take over, the Cloud and the Stone Village. And his clones have also increased power, like as he increases his power. So yeah, we are in the village. Naruto is living on his own because after the Chunin exams he kicked out Miyuki because he couldn't stand her cute, adorable her damn kindness that if she didn't get in his way he would have killed that traitor San Shinobi like by now. But anyways, while Naruto was having breakfast to start the day, an Anbu appeared in his house. He said, "The Hokage requests your presence." So Naruto says sure, and both of them disappear, going to the Hokage mansion. Naruto appears in his clone's office, and it told him that Jiraiya's spy network cited the Akatsuki, and they've started putting their plans into work sooner than any of them thought. So Naruto, hearing this, didn't really bat an eye because he knew they were coming for the leaf sooner or later. So what's the point of searching for them if they're coming to him? So he leaves the office and goes towards the north gate of the village to wait. And the guards were trying to talk to Naruto, make small talk, but he doesn't really answer any of their questions, so they don't bother. As time goes on, someone familiar sees Naruto waiting. It was Miyuki. She had been chilling in the village trying to figure out ways of freeing Kaguya, so she approaches Naruto, like she runs up to him saying, "Hi Naruto," and Naruto responds with a cold, "What do you want?" And Miyuki could tell he wasn't feeling very talkative, so she continues, "Well, don't you miss me?" And she starts putting her hands all over his chest, trying to use her womanly charms to get Naruto. Naruto just scoffs and says, "No, get off me. I have more important things to do." So Miyuki, like she was pushed and she's stumbling back a bit and she just stomps her foot on the ground and just like storms off angry. So after that, 5 minutes pass and in the distance Naruto could see it. 2 people wearing black robes with red clouds on them. Naruto smirks and waits until they get closer, and the closer they got, Naruto realized something. It was actually 6 people with, and if he squinted hard enough, they basically all look the same color hair and the same piercings all around their body. So they arrive at the gate and Naruto walks up to meet them. The Diva Path leading the group says, "Are you the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki?" Naruto says, "Maybe I am." So Pain, with a simple just raises his hands and says, "Shinra Tensei." This tries to push Naruto back into a wall, but to everyone's surprise, he doesn't even move. And Naruto just starts laughing and says, "How about you try mine?" So he mimics Pain saying Shinra Tensei. And Pain's thinking, is this guy dumb? He doesn't even have a ret. And before he could finish, a ki blast sent him back like down the trail, and this kicks up a lot of dust, and the guards on duty were about to say something, but Naruto knocks them out, putting them to sleep, and begins walking towards Pain and his other paths. He says, "You're lucky I held back, but you don't seem to be worth any of my time." So Naruto raises his hands and charges a black orb with purple coming off of it, a black spirit bomb. Naruto threw it at the 6 paths of Pain, erasing them from the face of the earth, destroying the ground around them, only leaving a crater. So Naruto turns, guess everyone in this world is weak. And he, goes and walks off towards the village. But while he's walking, he realizes, there was he senses something in the forest, so he goes to check it out. He punches his way through the forest, punching down trees, and he finally sees Konan. But let's have a flashback to around a minute ago, to Konan's perspective. She was waiting by Nagato's side when she saw him coughing up a massive amount of blood. She rushes over to him, "Nagato, are you okay?" And he responds, breathing heavily, "He's coming." And Konan tries rushing to get Nagato to safety, but they don't get far. She starts hearing trees falling, coming towards them, and she quickly rushes behind a massive boulder and puts Nagato down and says, "Live," and runs off. Nagato, being too weak to even say anything, has a tear run down his face. So Konan runs back to meet up with Naruto before he could get any closer to Nagato, but let's get back to Naruto. So facing Konan, he says, "I'm not stupid. There's two of you. Where's the other one?" Konan, while rushing at Naruto, says, He's dead, and sends a bunch of paper towards Naruto, wrapping her around him. And she says, "It's time for you to pay." And all the paper surrounding Naruto detonates, creating a massive explosion comparable to Deidara's like C2 explosion, but more focused so it doesn't destroy everything around them. So Konan, thinking no one could survive the attack, starts walking back to Nagato, but from behind her she heard something coming. She turned around, but it was too late. Using his Keyblade, Naruto sliced Konan's head right off, but along with her body they both turned into paper before reforming again. Naruto looks at Konan and says, "That's a unique jutsu, but it has an obvious weakness. You can't separate if you can't, activate it quick enough." And Konan replies, "Like you're faster than me." But with that, Naruto disappears. Konan, obviously starting to get worried, starts looking around trying to find Naruto. Then from above her, he shoots a ki blast at her. Konan is oblivious to this attack and dies. So Naruto, ready to leave, realizes there's one left. He looks towards the boulder and thinks, he'll die soon enough. Then he returns to the leaf. So while all of this is going on, the Akatsuki have started their first attack. First, Deidara and Sasori. They approach the sand village, but get stopped by the CheekzAfterDark himself. They get ready to attack because this is the CheekzAfterDark. They are here to steal their Jinchuriki. But they see something on his back. It was, it was Gaara's unconscious body, and the CheekzAfterDark just throws the body towards Deidara, and he catches it but falls over, and Sasori says, "Why are you giving up your Jinchuriki so easily?" And the CheekzAfterDark, remember this being Naruto's clone, says, "You'll know soon enough," and starts flying back to the sand. Which shocks both the Akatsuki members because only the Tsuchikage is known to fly, but okay. With the One Tails, they head back to their base. So, to Hidan and Kakuzu. They take down the Two Tails just like Kanon, cornering her, and Hidan using his jutsu to take her down. And for the Two Tails, since it's not sealed anywhere, Kakuzu uses his tentacles to restrain it while Hidan starts drawing a crucifix around the beast and begins chanting. A bright light shoots off the circle onto Hidan's stomach, creating an external seal on Hidan. Hidan. So this seal, just think of it since Jinchurikis are like a jar holding the tail beast, what Hidan is he created a jar, put the beast in it, and just strapped it to his stomach basically. So with both their tail beasts, they head back to the base. Let's switch to Itachi and Kisame. They already have the 4 tails and are going to get the I literally can't speak. Are going to get the 8 tails, who is somewhere in the village. So somewhere in the lightning village. So they come up to him just like they did to Naruto in the motel. So Killer Bee is in his room writing rhymes, and he gets a knock at his door. Killer Bee wondering who's this. He says, "Who's knocking at my door for, you whore?" Ooh, bars, honestly bars. But he doesn't get any response. So he opens it and sees the Akatsuki. He's like, "Damn it, it's the Akatsuki. Better hop on my jet ski." Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stop. This is exactly why my rap career didn't get off the ground. But anyways, he sees the Akatsuki and goes to take out his swords, but Itachi puts him under a genjutsu. And luckily, the 8 tails snaps him out of this, but since it wasn't instantly, so while he was out, they know that if he starts using the 8 tails chakra, it's gonna start being a problem. So Kisame used Samehada to start sucking out some of his chakra, while Itachi, sets his hands and legs on fire with Amaterasu to put him, under so much pain that he can't focus. So when B finally regains consciousness, he's already out of the lightning village, and he's trying to do something, but there's seals all over his body. His whole, like, he can't feel anything basically. So the Raikage gets word that the Akatsuki were being seen, like, carrying B out of the village, and he's furious. He's ready to run after them. He breaks its table, but one of the guys says he has a visitor, and the Raikage is saying, like, why is the leaf, like, sending people of all times now? He's just mad. So they enter the shinobi enters the Raikage's office, and he says, he's shouting, he's like, what do you want, boy? And don't you see, like, I have more pressing matters? And this ninja, being Naruto's clone, says, yes sir, well, the Hokage asked me to kill you. And the Raikage is confused, and he's like, what are you gonna do, you genin? You couldn't even hurt a fly. And Naruto smirks. He disappears, going behind the Raikage and coating his keyblade in a more darker key, and shoves it through him. And the Raikage is pretty durable, so he turns to Naruto and he says, why, you little... But before he could say anything more, Naruto starts slicing up his weak points, like his Achilles, his calf, his leg, stuff like that, making him fall to the ground. And the Raikage sees Naruto standing over him, and Naruto says, you underestimated me. That is your downfall. And he used a ki blast to just explode his head. The people who who gave the Raikage the news were waiting outside, so they go to turn the doorknob and a blade comes through the door, killing them. So Naruto now has control of all great ninja villages. I didn't really get into the stone because I don't know much about the stone, so yeah, Naruto just easily infiltrates that village and kills its leader. So with Naruto clones posing as all 5 Kage, his plans are, working out perfectly. So back to Nagato in the forest. He is dying with only seconds to live. He had one of Konan's papers in his hands, now soaked with his tears. But something unexpected happened. Zetsu came out of the ground to Nagato. He says, we can't have you dying just yet. I need you to release my mother. And with that, he rips out the Rinnegan and leave. Nagato, now crippled, blind, with his last strength, he squeezes on Konan's paper, and in a weak voice he says, I only wanted a world where we could be together forever, where we could grow old, where Yahiko would be proud, a world that he died for. And with that, Nagato dies. So the Akatsuki began extracting the tailed beast from the captured Jinchuriki, and Zetsu used Orochimaru to revive Kinkaku and Ginkaku for their 9 Tails chakra, and also Madara, who he gave the Rinnegan to. Currently in the Leaf Village, Naruto could sense the gathering of immense amounts of chakra, but he doesn't worry about it too much. So, in his mindscape, Goku Black speaks to Naruto. He says, hey kid, you may look like me, act like me, and have my power, but you're still stupid. That girl Miyuki, we need her. With a girl like that, just imagine the power of her kids. It will be unrivaled. And Naruto, realizing this, goes straight to Miyuki's place. She doesn't really have a house, she just chills in a cave, and he goes in and says, while she's reading up on like seals and stuff like that, Naruto taps her on the shoulder, and like she freaks out because she isn't expecting anyone to be in here. So she throws all the papers up in the air and stuff like that. So Naruto, she realizes it's Naruto and says, what do you want? And Naruto goes on his hands and knees and he's bowing and says, please, I made a mistake. Just come back to live with me. Plus, I found a way to release your aunt. And guys, don't get it twisted. Goku Black is just doing this for his own gain. So like 10 seconds of humiliation for a lifetime of gain. So hearing that last part is when Miyuki got interested. So she says, oh really? And does it involve killing people? And through his teeth, Naruto says, no. And she's like, how long will it take? And he's like, it wouldn't take long, like a week. So Miyuki has nothing to really argue with, and it's a good deal, so she accepts this and they go back to Naruto's house, which isn't some wooden cabin in the forest of death. It's actually like a palace. Like, I'll put up a picture on screen, like if I remember, but it looks like a traditional Japanese palace. So a week later, all the extractions have been done and it's time to release the 10 tails. So Madara does, and Zetsu already told him about how powerful Naruto is, so the Leaf Village is his first stop. Madara pulls up to the village with the 10 tails, and everyone, even the citizens who don't use chakra, could sense the power. But before it could start the rampage of the village, Naruto appears, flying eye level with the beast, and Naruto says, "Finally, something worthy of my upper limits of strength." And Naruto begins charging his power. Thunder could be heard flashing around the village, and just this, Madara is thinking this amount of power shouldn't be possible. And he quickly absorbs the 10 tails, becoming its Jinchuriki, because he knows it won't stand a chance. And Naruto finished transforming into his Super Saiyan Rose form, and he looks at the 10 tails Jinchuriki Madara, and he says, "No matter what form you take, I am a god." Still in his Super Saiyan Rose form, Naruto goes beyond. His black hair now having a silver outline, Naruto achieved Ultra Instinct. Madara is baffled at what Naruto has even become, launches his truth-seeking orbs at him, but Naruto just catches them and crushes it. Madara, looking to run at this point, gets stopped by Zetsu, who stabs him, backstabs him, and uses him to release Kaguya. So, with Kaguya Otsutsuki, finally appearing, she is floating above the ground, and Naruto is looking at her and thinking, "These damn insects won't stop coming, will they?" So he rushes at Kaguya and starts punching her into the ground over and over. And before he could do any serious damage, Goku Black had to remind him, "Idiot, remember, she is no mortal. She's the one we need." And Naruto is just blowing off steam at this point. So he stops and Kaguya gets up. She's ready to attack, but Miyuki jumps on her saying, "Auntie, you're here." And Kaguya at this point is just confused. Just imagine it. She gets released. 5 seconds later, she gets beat up. Then there's a family reunion. So while that's happening, Naruto goes off to deal with something. He appears at the Akatsuki's base, killing them with a super black Kamehameha. So with the Akatsuki dead, Kaguya revived, and Miyuki on his side, this seems like a good place to end it. How will the position of all 5 Kage be a benefit for Naruto? Or how will Kaguya be dealt with? Will she be left alive, and how powerful would Naruto's kids be? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. But seriously though, I know it's the finale, but I'm gonna put all these parts into a movie and have some bonus scenes at the end, answering those questions and stuff like that. So thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked it, and if you like my content in general, why not subscribe? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.